Hello YouTubers, it is Sunday, December 16th, which means that I have only 4 more days until I go home for Christmas. I'm really looking forward to getting out of Austin for a while, and the blinds, you can see the sunlight coming through little holes in the blinds. Sorry. Anyhow, yep, 4 more days until I go home for Christmas, and looking forward to getting out of town for a few days. Before I get to the topic of the day, I want to find out what your opinion is about music. And the point of that is that I've been downloading songs to my new MP3 player recently, and there's always been this Carly Simon song I like a lot. It's probably her most favorite or her most popular song, You're So Vain. And there's been speculation for years about who the song is about. It's about Warren Beatty, James Taylor, or her father, who was co-founder of Simon & Schuster Publishers. And so, there's been this speculation, and Mike Wallace even bought the information a few years ago during an online auction. And when I like a song or a group or something, or an artist, I tend to really appreciate the songs more when the person singing it was also the songwriter. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but that's one of the first things I do when I get a new CD. I will look through the liner notes to find out what songs the lead singer of the group or whoever involved with the song, if they wrote it. And those tend to be the songs I tend to appreciate a whole lot more. And so, I'm kind of curious when it comes to music and songs that you like. Do you sometimes listen to them to find like what the true meaning of the songs are, or or do you just listen to music just to listen to music? So if you want, feel free to share your comments down below in the comment section. And anything I talk about today, I'm going to put a link right. I feel like Vanna White, right over here in the comments, not the comments, but the information box. So you can click on the little More tab at the end of whatever I start typing, and you can get more information about today's topics. So moving right along, today's topic is again about books, and today I'm going to be doing something a little unconventional. I'm going to be reading the prologue. It's only a page and a half to my all-time favorite book, The Secret History by Donna Tartt. And also, in addition to this, I forgot to mention the other day that I have an autographed copy of the book. My friends Mike and John bought this for me a few years ago. Right there's her autograph. So I'm very happy about this. It stays on a shelf with just a few other books. And also, there is this. This is called, this is Continuum Contemporaries, and it's like a Cliff's Notes version of the book, but it really gives you a whole lot of insight to the book. Once again, this is sort of like my Carly Simon thing. I want to find out as much as I can about it, so I tend to just be a sponge for knowledge about certain things. So I'll put a link about this in the information box too. So. Anyhow, now I'm going to read the prologue from Donna Tartt's The Secret History, so you can get a little insight about the book. The snow in the mountains was melting, and Bunny had been dead for several weeks before we came to understand the gravity of our situation. He had been dead for 10 days before they found him, It was one of the biggest manhunts in Vermont history. State troopers, the FBI, even an Army helicopter. The college closed, the dye factory in Hamden shut down, people coming from New Hampshire, upstate New York, and as far away as Boston. It's difficult to believe that Henry's modest plan could have worked so well despite these unforeseen events. We hadn't intended to hide the body where it couldn't be found. In fact, we hadn't hidden it at all, but had simply left it where it fell in hopes that some luckless passerby would stumble over it before anyone even noticed he was missing. This was a tale that's told itself simply and well. The loose rocks, the body at the bottom of the ravine with a break in the neck, and the muddy skid marks of dug-in heels pointing the way down. A hiking accident, no more, no less, and it might have been left at that. at quiet tears and a small funeral, had it not been for the snow that fell that night. It covered him without a trace. And 10 days later, when the thaw finally came, the state troopers and the FBI and the searchers from town all saw that they had been walking back and forth over his body until the snow above it was packed down like ice. It is difficult to believe that such an uproar took place over an act for which I was partially responsible. Even more difficult to believe I could have walked through it. The cameras, the uniforms, the black crowds sprinkled over Mount Cataract like ants in a sugar bowl, without incurring a blink of suspicion. But walking through it all was one thing. Walking away, unfortunately, has proved to be quite another. And though once I thought I had left that ravine forever on an April afternoon long ago, now I'm not so sure. Now the searchers have departed and life has grown quiet around me, I've come to realize that while for years I might have imagined myself to be somewhere else, in reality I've been there all the time. Up at the top of the muddy wheel ruts in the new grass, where the sky is dark over the shivering apple blossoms and the first chill of snow that will fall that night is already in the air. "What are you doing up here?" said Bunny, surprised when he found the four of us waiting for him. "Why, looking for new ferns," said Henry. And after we stood whispering in the underbrush, one last look at the body and a last look around, no dropped keys, no lost eyeglasses. Everybody got everything? Then we started single file through the woods. I took one glance back through the saplings that leapt to close the path behind me. Though I remember the walk back and the first lonely flakes of snow that came drifting through the pines, I remember piling gratefully into the car and starting down the road like a family on a vacation, with Henry driving clench-jawed through the potholes and the rest of us leaning over the seats and talking like children. Though I remember only too well the terrible night that lay ahead and the long terrible days and nights that followed. I have only to glance over my shoulder for all of those years to drop away, and I see it behind me again. The ravine, rising all green and black through the saplings, a picture that will never leave me. I suppose at one time in my life I might have had any number of stories to tell, but now there is no other. This is the only story I will ever be able to tell. And that, my dear friends, is the end of the prologue for Donna Tartt's The Secret History. Anyhow, like I said, I'll put a link to put a link for this so you can buy it online. I'll put a link for this also, and I'll try to find a couple of the Carly Simon links for You're So Vain. I'll also try to find a video for it. I don't know if there's a video, but anyhow, until next time, I will see you soon. Take care and stay safe.